Hey YouTube, so today we are going to be talking calmness, some supercharging calmness tips. And the thing that you've got to remember about calmness is if you grow it, you're going to get a reduction in barking. You're going to get a reduction in attention seeking. If you work this out and about, you're also going to get a reduction in reactivity on walks, pulling on lead, not coming back when called. The key is that when your dog's experiencing that emotion of calmness, they are well behaved, right? Calmness, well behaved, they are in a way one in the same. Your dog could not know a sit, a down, a stay or a leave. If they are being calm, they will be being better behaved than the excitable dog that knows those things, right? That's how cool calmness is. So if you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure to do so. There's a new episode each and every week and a whole array of videos on all of your common dog training, dog owning struggles and just general life struggles with a dog. So calmness, what are we going to be talking about? Well, if you have not checked out our previous episode on how to grow a calm dog and reduce things like barking, then make sure to do so. We'll link it below this video. In that video, we introduce you to something called the calmness wheel and what that is, how to implement it, and how it transforms your dog's behavior. Now, in addition to that, what we want to think about are really what are those little hacks, those little boosts that make your dog even calmer that you can do that are almost like freebies, right? So the first tip that we've got for you is that actually when we think about enrichment with our dogs, when we think about making our dogs' lives great, as a human, what we typically do is we think about things that are actually quite exciting. So we think about, our dog madly chasing the tennis ball in the park repeatedly. We think about going to the beach and our dogs chasing other dogs and whatever else. We even think about crazy play at home. The fact is that actually enrichment doesn't need to be exciting and in fact shouldn't always be exciting. So the first tip that we've got for you is that there's even more value in making the enrichment that you choose to have with your dog not exciting, right? It's the equivalent of saying, okay, it's the school holiday, kids. We're going to do some bungee jumps, right? Imagine what they would be like after they have done those bungee jumps. They would be totally unhandleable, and we forget about that when it comes to our dogs. So examples of enrichment that can be, super enriching for your dog, but also calming would, for example, be some scent games. This doesn't have to be difficult. It could be hiding your dog's favorite thing in the room. First of all, making it clear that, you're hiding it so that they can find it and make it a little bit easy. But then start to ramp up the difficulty and maybe don't let them in the room until you've hidden it and then bring them into the room. That sort of thing, incredibly powerful in terms of engaging your dog's brain, enriching their lives, boosting their quality of life, but also it's going to grow calmness as well. You can even do it with their daily food allowance. It's that easy. Next example of things that you could do might be, for example, puzzle feeders, right? So like the lickable canine calm mats from AO Canine, there are all kinds of puzzle feeders out there. The reality is, guys, that you can make a puzzle feeder so easily. Just get, a washing up bowl and put some items in there that are safe for your dog and your dog's not going to eat, and chuck some of their daily food allowance in there so that they have to move the items to find the food. It's that simple. I bet if you looked around you right now, you would find 3 different puzzle feeders in your environment, right? So that's the first tip that we've got for you. Second tip that we've got for you is that sometimes things happen to our dogs that are in a way unavoidable, right? They're quite stressful, they make them feel quite worried, or maybe they make them very excited, depending. Those things might, for example, be a trip to the vets. They might, for example, be, a dog runs up to your dog on a walk and freaks them out, right? It might, for example, be that the grandkids are visiting, yeah? What we would say is in the lead up to that event, work even harder on calmness. Maybe don't do so many exciting things with them. Really, go aim for a spa-like experience rather than a disco-like experience leading up to that so that your dog's best prepared in the best mindset to receive that experience. And, I admit, I'm a vet, I'm a behaviorist. I admit that that's, we try our best, but sometimes we're a little bit scary or we're a little bit too exciting. And so, we can do something about that ahead of time. The second thing is then following that experience, your dog's brain is going to be in quite a hyped state. Yeah, they're going to be in a higher arousal. If you've heard us talk about this concept of the bucket filling before, the stress bucket that dogs have, then the bucket will be quite full because of that experience. And so for a few days after that, chill things out, right? Really kind of plan their lifestyle, be intentional with their lifestyle. That is what is going to unlock success in terms of calmness and growing calmness. Now, the third tip that we've got for you is that sometimes we're all for creating a spa. Yeah, we're like, this is going to be calm, everything is very zen, we are growing calmness, I'm working on the calmness wheel, I'm working on all these things that I'm being taught through the YouTube channel, and yet our dogs have a different idea, yeah? Their energy levels are a little bit higher than we were aiming for, their arousal levels a little bit higher, and they create their own disco. Yeah, and some dogs, they're a portable disco. They're going through life creating a disco wherever they go. And this is why it's really important that we have some level of managing how much disco they create in a situation. So if, for example, your dog has, there's a room of the house that you would really like to establish as a calm space, and yet your dog is like, no, this is the disco room, you misunderstand, human. Actually, what can we do in that space to stop our dogs from turning it into a disco? Maybe it's them being on lead for a little while we grow these concepts. Maybe it's that we're really clear about what they should be doing, yeah? So, for example, maybe they need to lie on a bed and we calmly feed them for being on the bed. Give them a job to do that's a little bit calmer than the disco job that they want to create in that space. Use your management strategies, a lead, the activities that we do with them, maybe even the amount of time that they spend in that room. If you're wanting to really grow that space as a calm space, you're tired, you've had a long day at work and you don't want to have to be that intentional with them, then maybe they don't come into that room, maybe you don't go into that room that day, right? Quality over quantity is key. So management strategies, don't forget that there's actually a lot that is within your control as a dog owner. We focus so often on the things that are out of our control, the dog that runs up to our dog, how our dog always does this as soon as they go into the room. Well, what could we do to stop them from doing that as soon as they go into the room, and how can we then reward what we do want? That's the process that is going to really unlock real life results for you. Now, the final tip that we've got for you is in the calmness video that we've linked below, we talk about how the key is to take that daily food allowance that your dog has, and when you spot spontaneous moments of calmness, you're going to deliver some of that daily food allowance. So we're paying value into that headspace that is calmness, so they spend more time there, right? Now, the thing is that if you really want to grow calmness, if you really want to go strong on calmness, and you would love a life of calmness with your dog, you need to be aiming for 60% plus of that daily food allowance, that pot of value that your dog starts each and every day with, needs to be going into calmness. Yeah, because that is how we're going to really drive that message home. That is how we're going to see the results the quickest. If we've got this pot of value and we're splitting it, 10% between a lot of different things, and maybe 50% of those things are actually quite exciting things, we're not going to move forward. We need to reduce the things that are reducing calmness, the exciting events, the enrichment that's exciting, yeah? But we need to then increase the calmness boosting things. And this is where a kind of a golden number that we would have, make sure that you've got in your head each and every day, 60%, yeah? Think about it as like the half and a little bit more of that bowl of food that your dog starts each day with. How are we spending that in calmness? Is it search games? Is it putting it into the calmness wheel? Is it rewarding them calmly for being on a bed when they're in the room that they want to be the disco, right? Implement these things, and what you will see is that calmness becomes the default. It isn't something you have to ask for. It isn't something you have to demand. That's not going to get you calmness. What's going to get you calmness is inspiring it by putting value into that calmness bank account, and your dog will default to it and actively drive that. Before long, your dog will be saying to you, hey, human, this is the calm space. And that is a nice space to be, right? So guys, if you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure to do so. Check out the video that we've linked below this one. It's vital learning for calmness. It's called the Calmness Wheel, and it reduces things like barking and all kinds of other cool things. Make sure to take action on this learning. It's all well and good watching this video, but implement it, take action, and then you will see the real life results.
Remember, game changers, whatever the dog owning struggle, there's a game for that.
If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to our channel.
And check out our new 25-day online dog training challenge. Watch the videos, play the games, transform your dog owning struggles.
As a loyal YouTube subscriber, you can get a 70% discount through the link in the description below.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to the #1 most transformational dog training podcast on iTunes and Spotify, the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast.
And remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more live teaching, video content and free training using the links in the description.